And welcome to the show, Geeks Wired podcast, where we talk about video games, movies, TV, comic books, technology, and TLDR, the Internet of Things. One of the hosts is Anthony.
Hi.
And the other host is Bill.
Hi.
And you can contact us by emailing us at geekswired@gmail.com or give us a voicemail or a text message at 801-896-GEEK. That's 801-896-4335. And you also can help support us by going to our Patreon page at patreon.com/geekswired, where you also have the option to get the podcast early.
Hooray.
Yay.
Yay. So what's first?
First. No, it's who's on first.
Huh?
Who's on first?
Who's first?
No, who is on first?
No, who's first?
Who?
Who? There's no owls here.
But they're great.
There are no owls.
What's on second?
I don't know where we're going anymore.
Third base.
No. No. No.
All right, fine. Let's talk about E3.
Okay.
You've been catching up so much stuff on it.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, I know.
I forgot it was a thing. Like, I heard about it, and then I promptly forgot, and then I saw some headlines, and then promptly forgot. So what happened?
So what happened, I started watching Bethesda's, and I was like, oh yeah, Bethesda. And then, with
Little fanboy.
I know. I like my Bethesda. It works with all my stuff, especially when I was a super Xbox person, the Bethesda stuff always worked on my Xbox, which made me more of an Xbox fan than a PlayStation fan.
Oh, but it never worked on your PlayStation?
I didn't have the PlayStation, but I knew everyone who had PlayStations who had
issues?
Problems with, yeah.
Yeah, you can blame that on architecture. And like, to be fair, the 360 had the same architecture, but I think their dev kit was a lot better designs. Like, it was just easier to develop for it, sort of. It's like the PS2 also had a lot of issues for the same reason.
Oh.
But anyways.
I started watching Bethesda's. And then they were like, Xbox exclusive. And they're talking all this other stuff. And I'm like, and Xbox is talking about all the games that are coming out. And all the games that you get to, through the Xbox Game Pass and all this. I'm like, interesting. Including like the new space one that Bethesda's releasing. I'm like, why is this so Microsoft Xbox heavy? Oh yeah, Microsoft bought Bethesda.
Oh.
I
forgot about that.
Totally forgot until like the end of or almost the end.
Was it you who sent me the video about the space one?
There's a decent chance on that.
Yes, it was. It was you.
Okay.
I very much enjoyed that.
Oh, ad. No. That's the different space one.
Oh, well, still.
Yeah, no. The Xbox did have this grand ad for one. Because the space one, they actually, unlike the first time when Bethesda showed it, first time was like, this is the game's name, and this is what we're going to do, and this is coming out before the next Elder Scrolls game. And then that was 2 years ago. Then, life has happened since.
Yeah.
But actually, it might have been 3, actually, now I think about it. It's been a while. And the game that they ended up going off of, it was another sequel. I forget which one it was. But they were like, oh, yeah, we're going to show this big bad guy, but he's not in the game, so he's irrelevant. And then we're going to show people running around shooting each other, but that's not part of the game. And then you're going to hear that wah, which means you know what that means. It means look up to the sky. But this game, and it's going to get pre-sales. But we haven't even developed this game. In fact, here's the character from a silhouette, and that's all you're going to get. Because we haven't developed the game. We haven't developed anything with it. In fact, all we have is a title. It was amazing. They were so honest with it.
Yeah, which is funny, but also might be a bad thing. I bet they have more than that. Like, they obviously do, but
Well, honestly, that was a game that Microsoft ended up talking about.
Well, I mean, Microsoft is just the publisher at this point.
Well, yeah.
They have all these other studios underneath doing it. It's like EA, Ubisoft actually, Ubisoft. I don't even know how to say it anymore, but they have all these studios like around the world, and so they work on a lot of games at once. So, in fact, if you look at like one of the Assassin's Creed games, you'll see like 20 or 30 different Ubisoft studios on there.
They jump around with that.
They just farm that crap out. Which has mixed results.
So it was interesting. So that was a different Star game.
Space game.
Space game. Yes. The other one was the one that, like I said, it was under the Ubisoft title. It was the one that they had announced, and they were going to make sure that and they were like, we have footage, and then they showed somebody like getting ready to take off in a spaceship, and it looks really good. I'll admit, it looks great, but that was it. Like literally it. And even with all the Xbox push, it was, we are going to have a new game every month pushed out to Game Pass. So they're pushing the Xbox Game Pass for the next year. Okay. Starfield. That was the name of the game.
So the Game Pass is that one where you do you have to own a Xbox, or is it just all streamed from the cloud? I don't remember.
Depends. So some of the games were Xbox first. Some of the games were Xbox exclusives, and some of the games were GameStop or Game Pass exclusives, which means that they can also be played on Windows 10. So you can subscribe to Game Pass, be a PC gamer, and still play and still take advantage of it.
I mean, you can do that with. I think you've been able to do that with the Xbox for a while for some games, actually.
Yes. Oh, they've actually opened it up to the PC. If you currently have the Xbox Game Pass subscription and you don't own an Xbox, there are plenty of games you can play on your PC.
But you have to have decent internet to do that. Not necessarily bandwidth, but...
No. Don't mix up what Google's doing. Yes, there are games that you can stream online. These are games you can also download. Because you're subscribed, you get to download these games. You get to release these games. They install on your computer, and you can play them. Not all of them are online games. Because that's something else. You're also mixing up Xbox Game Pass with Xbox Gold. To play lots of the games online with your friends, you need a Gold account. To play the games that Xbox by leasing your games, you need the Game Pass account. That's through the Xbox. Through the PC, it obviously varies a little bit. But you don't need the Gold account for your PC.
Okay. I haven't kept up on it, so I don't remember. I just know they had troubles getting it to work on Apple because Apple was playing hardball on it.
So yeah, like I said, you don't mix up their little streaming thing. And yes, they do have, so they have the game store, which yes, Apple's was fighting on that. Android kind of was as well. That is a different thing in the entire genre of the things, I guess, that is offered.
So, was there anything, was there a release date for the Breath of the Wild sequel? Because I don't want to, hear anything about it, because I want to go into it blind, but I am curious of a release date. And the only thing I'm seeing on their website is an actual, video, and I don't want to watch that.
All right.
Because the reason why I enjoyed Breath of the Wild so much was because I knew nothing about it.
True.
And I very rarely looked up anything unless I just was stumped on a puzzle for a while. At least to beat the game. After I beat it, then I started looking stuff up because I was a completionist, but
2022.
okay.
That's it. That's all you got. Probably a holiday season.
So a year and a half?
Hey, my game, I have to wait. The Starfield game is November 11th, 2022.
Yeah, but you only just heard about it. We've known
3 years ago.
Oh, that's right.
This is not that. This is not the.
Never mind.
Apparently, Disney is making deals with Microsoft as well.
For what?
So Microsoft has a Pirates game.
Yes. The one that I was trying to get you to play because I wanted to play it and then I never played it.
And I played it.
Yeah.
Because I had the best of time with it. You had the Sea of Thieves.
Is that what it's called?
Or not Sea of Thieves. Yeah.
That's a book. Like tale. Or movie.
I'm mixing up my pirate games. My pirate stuff. But there's an expansion coming out.
I think you're right.
I was right to Sea of Thieves? Okay. An expansion's coming out. And the crossover. If you have pirates, who should you bring in?
Captain Hook.
He's so boomer generation.
I don't know.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh. I was going, not as obvious.
And Davy Jones. No, you should have just... I was trying to make it as blatantly obvious. There's obviously a tie-in between...
I thought it was too easy.
It was supposed to be that easy.
Like, I even went with something that I thought was easy, and that was, like, Captain Hook, because there's, like, piratey stuff in there, too. But they're doing a crossover?
Yes.
With Sea of Thieves?
Yes.
Interesting.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Like, you said for the sequel or for an expansion?
Expansion.
Interesting.
That'd
be kind of cool.
Life, and they're bringing in Davy Jones, the Ghost Ship,
because they already have the Kraken in there, don't they? And I only know of the big, like one of the big monsters. I'm sure there's more.
So I never ran into those. I'll admit I played. I did not play as much as many people.
Well, you only ran into those if you went into like the open ocean.
Oh,
like instead of like going by the islands and stuff.
Yeah, I stayed close to the islands for the most part. The game that was the super short, teeny tiny trailer that was a tongue-in-cheek trailer is Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah. I don't remember what the first one was about.
Well, it came out in 2019, so...
Really?
Yes. It's not that old.
I have to look that up.
Forza 5 actually looked pretty decent. They went to locations, went to various locations, set their cameras up, and recorded time change for 24 hours.
Say that again, sorry.
Forza 5, or Forza Horizon 5, they went to locations, set up cameras, recorded these locations for 24 hours, and they built that into the game. So you actually have shadow movement and all this other stuff, all these locations you drive around. They look pretty decent.
I mean, it's not too hard to do that, but... Because...
True.
As long as you have, like, good... Like, I don't know why recording it would even matter.
The minimal. It's like when you make a robot or make a CG of somebody, a full body somebody, and they just kind of like all the muscles don't quite move, but then you record somebody for like 24 hours and everything, and you get all the
that
teeny
part
tiny
makes sense. But the shadows, all you're doing is just moving a point of light above the world, and that's what makes the shadows.
But
I guess for reference material, yes, and okay, whatever.
That pebble changed the entire scenery.
I'm not saying it didn't. I just think they're... Because, yes, it's good for reference material because then you can actually check that it's actually, like, realistic instead of just, like, oh, it's good enough.
Yeah.
But I think they're... I don't know, putting too much emphasis on that part, personally, but I don't know. These kind of games have been looking really pretty lately, so
yeah, like
the past couple of years anyways. So maybe they had to put out something else to make it make people want to buy it.
Yeah, and more Disney selling their product to let others do it. They're working with Square Enix to do a Marvel Avengers game, The War for Wakanda, and the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Interesting.
Comes out October 26, 2021.
I think this will be like every other video game that's been, or game that's been turned into a, movie that's been turned into a video game.
There's been... No, okay, we've had most of the issues with games turned into movies. Movies turned into games. The Spider-Man games were really, really good.
Okay, I would make that an exception. The one I'm thinking of off the top of my head is Avatar, the blue people one.
Well, that was a terrible movie.
I mean, I liked it,
and I have no. I didn't even know there was a game actually.
I only know there was a game because my parents bought it for me, and I played a little bit of it. But my little brother is actually the one who played through most of it, and it's actually kind of neat. But it's literally just like the movie as the game. But there is like some side stories. Like it's more for lore than anything, I think. So I'm not saying it was bad. It just was like dry.
GoldenEye. Great movie into a game.
I don't have any experience with it, and I know that if I were to play it now, I think it would be trash. So,
probably
because of the graphics, and it was one of the first because it was on the N64, right?
Yes. Don't say it's one of the first-person shooters.
No,
it's one of the more popular.
I was gonna say it was one of the more the first one of the more popular 3D based ones.
Yeah.
I don't count Doom in that because it's not. It's sprites. Whereas GoldenEye?
GoldenEye 007, yeah.
GoldenEye is like 3D models and textures. Like you're still moving around the same way that Doom did because you can't aim up and down, right? Just left and right.
Depended on the version, but I think correct. I do believe you still were on the.
All I know is you only had one joystick because that's what Nintendo decided to do. To be fair, though, they were that was one of the first controllers with a joystick on it, as the main thing. They didn't they had
obviously,
the concept.
You don't remember the Atari 2600. It was a joystick.
I know.
It's OG joystick.
What I was getting at, though, joystick is different than analog stick.
Okay, but you said joystick.
Okay, fine. Analog stick. It was one of the, and I think actually the N64's is more digital than anything, but whatever. They had an idea of having a second one because that's what the C buttons were, because that's what you moved the camera around with.
True,
especially.
Yeah.
So the idea was there, and then PlayStation just kind of, basically, I think PlayStation has made what analog controllers are, because their design is basically what everybody else uses. The only difference is that they usually move Xbox, for example, moves the left analog stick to where the D-pad is. They just swap them, and I think Nintendo does that too on most of their controllers too. So after PlayStation came out with theirs, the design's been copied basically.
And OG Woman Hero is getting another game too.
What now?
The first female superhero, main character of a video game.
Oh, Metroid.
Yep. Getting sequels.
Samus.
Mm-hmm.
Sequel or Metroid 4?
Well, new titles of Metroid. It's like the Legend of Zelda.
Well,
thing.
Metroid 4 has been was being worked on for years, and then it got canceled because, or I don't know if it got canceled.
Well, this is Metroid Dread. So Metroid 4 is still in the works. So this
Dread?
Is Dread.
Oh, okay. Because when you highlighted it, it got rid of the little wing on the D.
Yeah.
So it threw me off. But
for the Switch.
Yeah, makes sense. Was there any announcement of a Switch Pro? Because I know that's been talked about for a while.
There was mum talk. Mum on it. Nothing.
Kind of hope they don't. But at the same time, I kind of hope they do. Because it would give the Switch more performance boost. But at the same time, it would split their product lineup. Then again, they did that with 3DS toward the end of its life too, and it didn't really hurt anything. It just meant that people don't take advantage of the extra hardware.
True.
Because the 360 did that too. The later, the Elites, I think the later Elites had better processors and stuff, but because you had to design for the old system too to maintain compatibility, you can't really use it.
So we're gonna pop out shorter episodes for a few weeks because life events happening. So we're gonna end this one. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. As normal, I guarantee. I'm gonna check though. Do you have any famous last words?
There is no spoon.
Hey, listen.